The Whipping Boy by Sid Fleischman, a First Chapter Friday read aloud video and mystery quote with the Word Nerd. Make sure you come back each week for more Newbery Award-winning titles. We'll be adding from the mixed-up files of Mrs. Basil Frankweiler, The Whipping Boy, Because of Winn-Dixie, and The New Kid, including an interview with Jerry Craft. But that's not all. I've got a First Chapter Friday video for all of these Newbery Award winners as well. Check the video description box for a link to the Newbery playlist. I'll also drop in a link for these student engagement worksheets you can print off to use with each of these videos. Today, as you listen, watch for the story quote that will appear on screen. Write it down word by word and then follow the instructions given to you by your teacher. Stay all the way to the end to see if you've written it down correctly. Hey everybody, my name's Amanda Zieba. Welcome to my channel Learning with the Word Nerd and another First Chapter Friday video. This week I'm going to continue with my series of Newbery books and read to you from the 1986 winner, The Whipping Boy by Sid Fleischman. Now, kind of crazy, but a few years after Sid won the award for this book, he and his son Paul wrote another book called Joyful Noise, Poems for Two Voices that also won the Newbery Award. So super cool, super talented, multi-award winning author, Sid Fleischman. If you are looking for a short book with pictures, a book about boys who make mischief that is also very funny, you are going to love this story. Just like it is short overall, the chapters are very short, so this video is going to be like teeny tiny, just a few minutes long. Let me read you the back so you know what the story is about, and then we will jump in. He is known throughout the land as Prince Brat, a name he justly deserves, but in his kingdom it is forbidden to spank the heir to the throne. So an orphan named Jemmy is plucked up from the streets to serve as his whipping boy. Jemmy dreams of running away. The prince has the same idea. Together the two begin an adventure that is to change both of their lives forever. All right, let's see how this story gets started. The Whipping Boy by Sid Fleischman with illustrations by Peter Sís. Chapter 1, in which we observe a hair-raising event. The young prince was known here and there and just about everywhere else as Prince Brat. Not even black cats would cross his path. One night the king was holding a grand feast. Sneaking around behind the lords and ladies, Prince Brat tied their powdered wigs to the backs of their oak chairs. Then he hid at the bottom of a footman to wait. When the guests stood up to toast the king, their wigs came flying off. The lords clasped their bare heads as if they'd been scalped. The ladies shrieked. Prince Brat, he was never called that to his face, of course, tried to keep from laughing. He clapped both hands over his mouth, but it ripped out a cackle of ha-has and he-he-he-he's. The king spied him, and he looked mad enough to spit ink. He gave a furious shout, "Fetch the whipping boy!" Prince Brat knew that he had nothing to fear. He had never been spanked in his life. He was a prince, and it was forbidden to spank, thrash, cuff, smack, or whip Prince. A common boy was kept in the castle to be punished in his place. "Fetch the whipping boy!" The king's command traveled like an echo from the guard to guard, up the stone stairway to a small chamber in a drafty north tower. An orphan boy named Jemmy, the son of a rat catcher, roused from his sleep. He'd been dreaming happily of his ragged but carefree life before he'd been plucked from the streets and sewers of the city to serve as the royal whipping boy. A guard shook him fully awake. "On your feet, my boy." Jemmy's eyes blazed up. "Ain't I already been whipped twice today? Gaw, what's the prince done now?" "Let's not keep the great folks waiting, lad." In the main hall, the king said, 20 whacks. Defiantly biting back every yelp and cry, the whipping boy received 20 whacks. Then the king turned to the prince. "And let that be a lesson to you." "Yes, Papa." The prince lowered his head so as to appear humbled and contrite. But all the while he was feeling a growing exasperation with his whipping boy. In the tower chamber the prince fixed him with a scowl. "You're the worst whipping boy I've ever had. How come you never bawl?" "I don't know," Jemmy said with a shrug. "A whipping boy is supposed to yowl like a struck pig. We dress you up in fancy clothes and feed you royal, don't we? It's no fun if you don't bawl." Jemmy shrugged again. He was determined never to spring a tear for the prince to gloat over. "Yelp and bellow next time, you hear? or I'll tell Papa to give you back your rags and kick you back into the streets." Jemmy's spirits soared. "Much obliged, your royal awfulness," he thought. "I'll take me rags, and I'll be gone in half the blink of an eye." Now, I know, that's it. That's all I'm going to give you. If you want to know what happens next, you're going to have to pick up a copy of The Whipping Boy by Sid Fleischman, the 1986 winner, and one of the Newbery Award winners I have on this channel for you. Happy reading. I'll see you again next time. To continue reading The Whipping Boy by Sid Fleischman, pick up a copy from your school library, purchase one from your favorite local indie bookstore, or grab it via the link in the description box. Then be sure to check out the rest of the full First Chapter Friday playlist. I've got over 100 middle grade and young adult titles waiting for you. This week's mystery quote says, "If it's a friend you ran off looking for, it's a friend you found." Thanks for stopping by my channel, Learning with the Word Nerd. Please remember to like this video and subscribe. You can find more content from me at these great places. See you again next time, and happy reading!